Screencast 18, separating reports from code using report libraries. So, what I'm going to do in this demo is show you the simple report I pre-created. Nothing really special, nothing different from the previous reports I've done. It goes against a query. And this is the cust table SRS query, which I've been using in all my demos. And then it shows a report title. It says untitled report. And the reason it says this, if you look in the design, the title is set to this equals get special report title method, clearly a data method. And if you look in the data methods, oops, I clicked too quickly. If you can look in the data methods, you'll see there's the data method. I double click on that, and yeah, that's where the string untitled report comes from. So this data method is in the data methods node, obviously, and if I have more than one design, all these designs can get access to the data method. And all these designs are in the same report model, though. So what happens when you have multiple models and you want to call the same piece of code? Well, unfortunately, you can't directly share data methods between report models, but we can share code. So at least some of the what we want is possible, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Let me close this, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a new report library whose sole purpose is to share code. So we'll right-click on the solution, add, new project, and it's Visual C# Dynamics AX reporting project. I'm going to put this in a different folder because it makes it easier for me later on in my screencast series. And we'll call this sample code report library. And there it is right there. And you can see it has report1.moxel is there. And there's really no business logic. And here's report1.moxel. And the funny thing is, as I close this window, and let me go ahead and just build everything and save, so nothing, I can be sure there aren't any weirdnesses. Right? Cool. And then it's complaining about report 1 because it has no designs in it, so I'll delete report 1. And that's the first thing you should realize, is that you can have a report library with no reports. Totally legal, totally valid, and there are good reasons why, and that's the point of the screencast. Build succeeded, no warnings or errors. So we're going to add some business logic. Now we're used to always creating a data method on a report, right? But in this case, what we're going to do is just create a new class directly. So I'll click on the business logic node, and right-click, and say add class. And I will call this sample code, just like that. And you can see that under the namespace sample code report library, there's a class called sample code. I'm going to make it public so other people can see it. And I'm going to make it static because I'm only going to have static methods. And I'll create a function, public static string get special report title. No parameters. And I will just return special title from sample code report library. Okay, and I want to use that now. Now I didn't go and paste those attributes that indicate this is the data method because I can't share data methods, so that wouldn't have helped me. What I need to do here is just use a static method. I'm going to call that static method from the data methods in the other report. So I go to report, this other report here, the Moxel. I go to data methods and I open up get special report title. I want to call that library, right? So I'll do return sample. Well, you can see, where is it? It's not in IntelliSense. I don't have a reference to it. That's the problem. So let's go to the right and let's think about this, because we have a little bit of a dilemma. Under samples library, we have my report, right? Notice there are two references nodes. There's one under the business logic node, and there's one right under the root samples library node. Which one do I pick? Now, because this is a report library I'm referring to, what I'll do is I'll add a reference here. And there are other reasons to use this. I'll get into that in later screencasts. Before I do this, I would advise you one thing, which is sometimes Visual Studio's IntelliSense can get a bit confused if you're looking at code and you're adding and removing references while you're viewing the code. So I suggest you do is close all your code windows. This will make things just a little bit more reliable. It doesn't always happen, but this helps. And then add your reference. Now, if you add your reference here, you'll see our custom UI, and we'll pick sample code report library. And we'll click add, and there we go. Okay, now it's in references. Now the question we have to answer is, does my report see it now? Right? Let's open up that report, go to the data methods, and let's see if it works. So return sample code report library dot sample code dot get special report title. Okay, and does it build? Yes. The build started, no problem so far. And build succeeded, right? And the only warning here is just because one of the other reports does not have a style template assigned, not a problem. Now let's preview the report. Does it say something different? There you go. Special title from sample code report library. Okay, so that's how that works. And it's a very simple technique, and it works extremely well. And this is how you'll share code, especially in data methods, between multiple report models. And in general, I will often in these samples start keeping these data methods here in the sample code report library instead of embedding them in reports. It just makes it a little bit easier for me to maintain and explain and reuse these data methods. Okay, that's it for this screencast. See you next time.